Hey guys, welcome back to Bear Mountain Builds, and today I'm going to show you how you can make this modified fireman's axe with just the tools you have in your wood shop. Let's get going. Welcome back to my second video of the wood shop axe series, where I build steel axes without a welder, a forge, or a plasma cutter. Now today, I'm going to be building this axe, which I designed and based it off of a fireman's axe, where it has a head similar in shape, but I have a curved handle on here for better chopping. Now, I got this by sending my design into a company called Send Cut Send, which I don't have any affiliation with, but I really like the company and they do a good job. You can just send in any design you want and they'll burn it out of any material. I chose 3/8 inch AR 500 steel. It's a really hard steel. It's used for plate armor. It will hold an edge and it's not too brittle that it will shatter. Now, this is axe number 2 of 8, and by my math, that means I have 6 more coming. You should subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of those, and let's get going. I'm starting off with drilling 5 4mm holes for the handle. I use a 2-step process, starting the hole with a cobalt bit and going all the way through with a multi-material bit due to how hard the AR 500 steel is. Next, I'm using the 220 grit aluminum oxide belt to remove the scale from the exterior of the metal. Alright, so I've got all of my holes drilled for the handle and I've ground all the surfaces to 220 grit. It's looking pretty good. I have a bit of scale left right here, but that's okay. It's gonna be covered by my handle anyways. Now, I've finished sketching out what I want my cheek to look like right here. So now moving forward, I'm gonna be grinding with a 40 grit belt. And I'm gonna grind on this edge right here, and on the other side I'll be grinding on this edge. I don't wanna touch where the point is gonna be, and I don't wanna touch where my final grind line is gonna be back here. So I'll just start here, do it as one plane, and just bring it all the way down so it matches this top. Now let's get going. I found that it's best to start by touching the leading edge to the belt, then lay the axe down until you get to your grind plane. This way you'll avoid messing up your grind line. So, I've got the cheeks all roughed in and it's looking really good. Look at that. Oh yeah. Now, with the cheek done, I'm gonna move on to the spike, and I'm gonna do the same method of drawing out all my grind planes, and then I'll rough it in, and once I have it roughed in, I'll move on to some higher grits and I'll polish all this stuff up. Now let's keep going. All of these lines might look really complex, but they're only marking the 4 grind planes I wanna follow. They'll make more sense after you've seen it ground. Alright guys, so I've finished grinding the head to 220 and it's looking really clean and shiny. I'm getting excited. Now we're moving on to the handle. I'm using painter's tape to wrap the 2 scales really tight together so they won't shift while I'm drilling the pinholes. After each hole is drilled, I drop a pin in to hold everything in place. I'm keeping the axe clamped to the scales until I have at least 3 pins in place. I created a template to model the final shape of the top of the handle because I can't change that shape once it's glued down. I cut the top of the handle out exactly, but left about an 1/8 inch gap everywhere else. Rule of thumb, it's better to use too much glue and too many clamps than not enough. Remember to check for gaps. Alright, so I've taken the clamps off and the handle is glued on, and boy is the axe looking good! Now, I'm going to be moving on to shaping the handle. So I'm going to be using an 80 grit belt to shape this all the way down. You don't want to use a 220 or anything high because it's going to burn the wood. Now let's keep going. I started off with grinding all the pins down flush and removing the excess epoxy. Keep sanding until you see sparks. I transitioned to a drum sander to hit those harder to reach spots and do some final detailing. I rounded everything out with the Dremel until it fit really well in my hand, and then finished it off with 220 grit sandpaper. Alright guys, I gotta say, this thing is sweet. I just finished shaping up the handle and it feels really good in my hand. So now all we have left is to throw some linseed oil on this to make the grain pop and grind that bit on. Let's finish it up. This is the same grind as the cheek, but just at a slightly steeper angle. Alright guys, the modified Fireman's axe is complete, and I've got to say, I am super stoked with how it turned out. It looks so good with the dark leopard wood and the finish on the head. Man, it just looks really good. Now, if you like this axe and the video, hit the thumbs up button for me. It helps me out a lot and I really appreciate it. Also, I want to know what you guys think of it. So leave a comment on the video. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on everything. And I have 6 more axes coming, so hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing and you can stay up to date on all of my videos, and it really helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, I have now eaten, so I'm gonna hit this in one take, moving on.